Hello guys, welcome back to another cold stream. On today's stream, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, and today I got a more newer player-friendly deck. Now, we're using Pegasus with Master of Rights. Master of Rights, I believe you get from level up with this guy. I don't remember. Anyway, Master of Rights is the skill. Can be used each time your life points decrease by 1,000. Return one card from your hand to the deck to choose one of the following: a random ritual monster or a random ritual spell. This can be used twice per duel, and there is no limit on once per turn. This is a skill that we've used previously in a different deck, but this time we're using it with our Cyber Angels. Yes, that's right. Cyber Angels, they recently were kind of helped with the ban list by moving Cyber Petite Angel to a limited to 1, and which freed up the choice for either a Dakini, or for Dakini and Ritual, or Machine Angel Ritual, and a Cyber Angel Petite. So now you can have one of each of those, which makes the deck a lot more consistent. Right? Now, what are we running? What makes this deck good? Why should you run Cyber Angels? And why is it a particularly good deck for newer players? Cyber Angels is completely free to play. However, let this be known, E to 10, you got 2 of them from a login bonus campaign reward. So if you don't have those, they were recent to the game. They were like 2 months back. That's when you first got these. If you didn't get those, that's okay. If you have just 2, that's okay. It's better with 3, but it's doable without them. Okay? So E to 10 is probably the hardest one to get, seeing as how it was exclusive. But you do get 1 from a level up reward from Alexis Rhodes. So we'll probably get more in the future as well. But in terms of if you have this deck and if you have the capability of making this deck, I would say that this is probably the easiest one, or one of the easiest ritual decks to use and to play and to climb with. I don't think it's great in Legend and above because it doesn't have a lot of great protection, especially in this meta where things can just be sent to the graveyard rather than destroyed. So keep that in mind, but ultimately it's still viable, it's still good, you can still dominate fools with it. It destroys things like Ancient Gears, which you'll see in the replay. But this, let me show you the core of the deck. This is the core of the deck. This is what you want. You get this from a level up reward with Alexis Rhodes. You get one of these from a level up reward. You get this by dueling Alexis Rhodes. Same with this. I don't remember how you get this. I think it's I think there was another. I think you can also get this from ranked duels or something along those lines, where you can use one of your UR code. I think you can also get it. Sorry, you can also get it from this guy, if I am not mistaken. Your Karibo. Let me see real quick. So we'll click on this, and it takes you to this. And then, can you not? Oh no, but you can get Dakini. I forget how you get Izana. I forgot how I got it. But there's another way to get Izana. I believe it's from ranked duels. So don't believe what this is saying. Right? There are other ways to get it. I believe you can get it from a ranked duel. Ranked duel reward, which is how I got this one. So if you haven't used your UR ticket for your ranked duels, for winning 100 ranked duels, there you go. You can get Izana. Dakini you can get from a lot of different SR tickets. Ben 10 again. Both of these actually you can get from dueling Alexis Rhodes. Same with all of these. The Machine Angel Ritual as well as Machine Angel Absolute Ritual. Sprite's Blessing is just another ritual that you can get from either this box or the selection box. I randomly have 3. I don't know how I got 3, but I randomly have 3. But ultimately, it's not that important. Again, whoops. This is the core of the deck, right? If you can make this, it's more so this is the core of the deck. The rest are just health, right? So, now let's talk about the more support, or let's talk about the ritual spells first, right? We talked about Izana, or Ida10, and Izana and all of that, and how to obtain them. Let's talk about the ritual spells first. So this one, you can special summon, or ritual summon, sorry, any Cyber Angel ritual monster. You must tribute monsters from your hand or field, and or shuffle fairy or warrior type monsters from your graveyard into the deck, right? So you can either tribute from your hand or field, or send things back from the graveyard back into the deck. Warrior or fairy type monsters, right? No, these don't really work, except Sphere Karibo does. But Kiteroid and Sphere Karibo are just here to protect. I would probably take out Kiteroid and Sprite's Blessing for some other things, but this is kind of what I ran, so this is what you're going to see in the replays. Then, yeah. But it has to equal the exact level. So, this is the level 2, plus the level 6, gives you a level 8. Either one, right? Or, you can use a level 6 to get a level 6, right? That also works. Or, you can use Machine Angel Ritual, which does not require the exact level, right? You can tribute from your hand or field, whose levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. So there you go. You don't need the exact level, which is very useful. If a light monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card instead. Well, guess what? All of these monsters are light. These two don't count. All of these monsters are light, right? So this is very useful. If it is going to be destroyed, banish the card instead. A lot of people played around this in King of Games. However, when I played this deck when I was in Platinum, I played basically the exact same deck, except maybe not these. No one played around this. Not a single person. So you could trick a lot of people into swinging in, thinking that they have lethal, right? Gonna destroy your Dakini, gonna destroy your Izana, right? Something like that, and then you just prevent it, right? Or if they use Treacherous Trap Hole or something like that to destroy your card, you just stop it. You say no, right? Okay, so those are the ritual spells, and then Sprite's Blessing is just any light ritual monster you could tribute from your hand or field, exact level. It's just to kind of make it a little bit more consistent, so that we're running 5 ritual spells with all of our monsters as well. So, now let's talk about Ben 10. We're going to talk about Ben 10 first. So, must be summoned using a ritual spell. If this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original defense in the graveyard, right? So if they go to the graveyard, you deal damage equal to their defense. If they're not in the graveyard, it doesn't count. So keep that in mind as well. So like if you're swinging into a cock-a-doodle-doo, and it's going to be banished, then you're not going to deal the damage with a with this effect. However, this is not the important effect. What is if this card is tributed, any sort of tribute, you can add 1 light fairy type monster from your deck to your hand, right? Why is this any time it's tributed important? Let's check out this card, right? Because this card also has an effect while tributed. This card, tribute 1 Cyber Angel ritual monster from your hand or field, draw 2 cards, then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except for ritual monsters. That's not a big deal. You can only really special summon monsters that are ritual monsters within this deck, so that's not a big deal. And then you can only activate one per turn. I got these from the Casey Cup rewards. I happened to get top placing, or enough to get 2 SR tickets. So I spent them on these because the only way to obtain these is from an event that's no longer here. But yeah, again, you can get them from the Casey Cup rewards. You can get them from stuff like that. I think ranked duels as well. So, well, it says that you can only get them from one thing. You can get them from other things. So keep that in mind. Right? Now let's talk about E10 real quick. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add a ritual spell card from your deck or graveyard to the hand. And if this card is tributed, you can make all ritual monsters you control gain 1000 attack and defense. That's pretty insane, seeing as how all of your boss monsters, all of your monsters really, are ritual beasts. So, or ritual summoned monsters. Ritual monsters. So, a good combo is open up with either one of these, or this, any of these ritual spells, an E to 10 and a Ben 10. You summon E to 10, sacrificing or tributing Ben 10. Ben 10, activate the effect, or sorry, E to 10, activate the effect, then chain Ben 10's effect to it. Ben 10, search for, you can either search for Petite Angel, if you don't already have it in your hand, or Dakini, or anything like that, right? Search for whatever you need, right? If you want to go for another play, say you have another E to 10 or another Ben 10, you could search for another one, and then you would have 2, right? Search for anything, any of these monsters, right? Grab it, and then E to 10, grab another ritual spell. If you don't already have Machine Angel Ritual, grab that up, right? Or if you have Machine Angel Absolute Ritual, or if you want to grab Machine Angel Absolute Ritual, do that, right? Then, normal summon Petite Angel, grab up Dakini or Izana, depending on which one you need, right? If they have back row, you grab up Izana. If they have monsters to deal with, you grab up Dakini, right? Why is that? Well, Dakini, if this card is ritual summoned, you can make your opponent send one monster they control to the graveyard. They choose, right? If they only have one, they send that one, right? And this came in very handy against things like Winged Kariba, which apparently a lot of people are playing, and stuff like that, right? If a ritual monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Once per turn, during your end phase, you can target one ritual monster or one Machine Angel Ritual in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So, you can add a ritual monster, any of these guys, or this one in particular. Now keep that in mind. You actually want this one in the grave because you can banish it instead of having something be destroyed. One of your ritual monsters be destroyed, right? So, keep that in mind. You can grab up E to 10, you can grab up Ben 10. Those are good options. But keep in mind, if you only have the Machine Angel Ritual, you kind of want to keep it there. That's where it's supposed to be. Absolute Ritual works really well as well. Sprite's Blessing works, so keep this in the grave. Then Izana. Why would you want to grab Izana? Well, if this card is ritual summoned, you can make your opponent send one spell or trap card they control to the graveyard. When this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. This card can make a second attack on your opponent's monsters in a row. So, if they have 2 monsters, but you only have one Izana, Izana can attack them each once. Pretty good, right? Or you could attack the same monster twice if it's something like Big Shield Gardna, right, where it flips face up. And you just swing in again, and boom, there you go. No one ever played that, but just in case. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a Cyber Angel ritual monster you control, quick effect, you can shuffle one ritual monster from your graveyard into the deck, and if you do, destroy one card your opponent controls. This is actually a really good effect. Let's say they have a Treacherous Trap Hole, right? They activate Treacherous Trap Hole, very common card on the ladder. They activate it. They target your Izana and your Ida-10. Let's say those are your two cards on the field, right? You activate this effect. You send your Ben 10 back to the deck, and you destroy, let's say, their I don't know, their Reactor Dragon, right? Their Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon, right? It's very helpful at stopping monsters from getting lethal, right? However, keep in mind that there are a lot of things that you are destroying it, you're not sending it to the grave. So, a lot of times it's going to activate one of their other effects because it's destroyed rather than sent to the grave, and stuff like that. But it's still very useful, and it still can come in clutch, right? Plus, you know, if they use Treacherous Trap Hole and you have a Machine Angel Ritual within your grave, you just prevent it and then destroy a card on the field because they didn't read their card, which has happened before. Someone targeted to destroy one of my cards, and I was just like, well, guess what? You don't destroy it, and I get to destroy one of you. So it's very good at that. Okay? So, you grab up Cyber Petite Angel to grab either Dakini or Izana. Then you ritual summon for Dakini or Izana, right? Send a card, send a monster, or send a spell or trap card to the graveyard, right? And then you just swing in for lethal, right? With Ida-10 in attack mode, or Dakini, or with Ida-10 and Dakini in attack mode, or Izana, or you should almost never really summon Ben 10 if you can help it. So, and this deck is pretty consistent at least getting that off. That being said, in higher ranks, a lot of people, again, play around this, and a lot of people can get around Dakini and just send it to the grave rather than destroying it, right? Or anything like that. So, in higher ranks, this is not a great deck, but in lower ranks, if you want to climb, it's a very simple deck. You get the combo, and then you're done, right? You don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need those, don't even need that, right? Like, this is the core of the deck. If you can do that, fantastic, right? This just makes it more consistent so that you're drawing more cards, and you're tributing for, right, like you could tribute a Ben 10 to search for an Ida-10 to actually get off a combo or something like that. So it just makes it more consistent, but not needed. This Cosmic Cyclone, the biggest deal is dealing with back row, because this, they can activate the back row card in, to basically, in response to, sorry, I couldn't say that, in response to Izana's effect. So they could activate it and then send it to the grave, which is very annoying sometimes. But let's just hop into some of the replays and I'll show you how it works. Alright, so hopping into this first duel, we are up against a Seto Kaiba, Dark Side of Dimensions Seto Kaiba, so immediately I'm thinking, this is going to be Alternative Evolution, most likely, right? We go second. Going second with this deck is ideal. Now, we draw an actually really interesting hand. We draw both of our Cosmic Cyclones, which is pretty good because he did happen to set a card, and that means that we can activate our effect, right? We also drew a Petite Angel, right? Rebirth of Parshath. What? What? This guy negates our effect and loses 1,000 life points. Then he's going to summon up a Avenging Knight Parshath. Okay, well, how do we get around that? Well, pretty simple. First of all, we're going to activate our effect and send the Cosmic Cyclone back to the deck. Grab up a random ritual monster, since we already have a ritual spell. So, here we go. We're going to summon Petite Angel to search up Editen. Then we are going to Sprite's Blessing for Editen, send Ben 10. Editen into attack position. Make sure that it's in attack position. Editen effect activate, chain Ben 10 to it, grab up the 2 cards, activate the effect. We are going to send these 2. We're going to send the Ben 10 in our hand as well as the Petite Angel in our hand or on the field to the graveyard. Activate Dakini's effect, activate Ben 10's effect. Ben 10 activate. So we're going to search for Editen. No real purpose there. He realizes what's going on because guess what? As soon as Dakini's effect activates, he has to send a card to the graveyard. A monster card, right? He only has 1 monster card. He realizes he doesn't have anything in his hand, in the graveyard, or anything like that to prevent us from swinging in for lethal. So there you go. That's very simply how you want to do the combo, right? Petite Angel to grab whatever monster you don't have, right? If you have Editen, search for Ben 10. If you have Ben 10, search for Editen. There you go. Activate, summon Editen, send Ben 10, search Dakini, wipe the field, swing in for lethal. There you go. Alright guys, welcome back. So, in this one, we are facing off against Shizu Ishtar, which normally means Seal the Tombs, which is kind of detrimental for us, meaning we can't banish or really touch the grave all that often, right? Things that activate within the grave can activate, but things that change the state of anything within the grave can't be activated, right? So we can't pull something from the grave or anything like that. But we'll see what this is. It's triple set. Alright. Absolute Ritual. Summon Editen. Editen. Defense position. Activate. Since we don't have lethal, I'm assuming, since there are 2 face downs, we're just going to grab up our combo. We're going to set up Editen into defense position so that we have a little bit more protection. We also have an Editen in the hand. So, Absolute Ritual. We're going to send back the Ben 10 and we're going to send the Petite Angel to the grave. Then we're going to grab Izana because I'm more scared of the back row than I am what the monster is, right? Then I thought I made a huge mistake because I said no to Izana's effect, meaning he didn't send one of his cards to the grave. It ended up not mattering, but I thought I made a huge mistake at the moment. So, there we go. We boost up using our Editen, and then we swing in, and it's a winged frickin' Karibo. Why is it a winged Karibo? And then we see Fairy Smile. They gain 1,000 life points for every fairy they draw. Draws a fairy, sets it. We know that that's the fairy because her hand didn't shuffle, and that was the card. This is an old card in the hand, right? Then we summon Editen by shuffling back one of the cards. Activate Ben 10. Well, guess what? It's Parshath. I was pretty sure that they had 1 Parshath because they kept a card within their hand, an old card in their hand. And I was getting a lot of things on activations. A lot of delays on the activation of things. So, Rebirth of Parshath. Now I'm really glad that I didn't activate Izana's effect because had I activated Izana's effect, I would not have been able to continue. And like that would have been negated and Izana would have been shuffled back into the deck, right? Instead, Ben 10 gets shuffled back into the deck. She summons a Parshath from the main deck rather than the side deck, or extra deck, into defense position. Interesting. Grabs up another one of these weird cards. You can send it to the grave, discard. Then, we Cosmic Cyclone another Parshath. There were 2 Parshaths. They set 2 Parshaths. And then we swing in for 3,500, and then they realize they have nothing left to do. There's nothing that they can do, and we win. So, there was a huge time where I thought that I had made a huge mistake by not activating Izana's effect. But here's the thing, had I activated Izana's effect, they would have negated me, they would have been able to get a card onto the field that would have made it that would have been too strong for me to beat over, and they would have still had probably another Parshath within their hand. Or they could have activated probably another Parshath, right? So, very lucky that I accidentally said no, right? So that was a very lucky duel. However, you do see the power of the deck, even through a Parshath or something like that, right? So, there you go. Alright, so welcome back. With this one, we are going up against a Yami Yugi, and he's running a 29 card deck, like a weirdo. Sets a card, we summon Petite Angel, activate Sprite's Blessing, send Ben 10, E to 10, E to 10, Ben 10, activate, grab up, Dakini, as well as our Machine Angel Absolute Ritual. Activate Machine Angel Absolute Ritual, because we have lethal, send Ben 10 and Petite Angel. Send the card to the grave. Doesn't activate the winged Kuribo. However, he has a Kuribo, a standard, very standard Kuribo in his hand. Who plays Kuribo? This man apparently. And he Lava Golems us. Well, guess what? That doesn't really matter. We activate the effect. We send Ben 10. Ben 10's effect activates. We drew 2 cards. Send 1 card back to the grave. Activate Ben 10's effect. Grab a card. This card basically just says if there's something that grabs a card from the deck, you draw a card as well. So he draws a card. We activate Machine Angel Absolute Ritual. We have Izana. We grab with Ben 10. We swing in. He has a Kuribo. Well, great. Fantastic. It's a stall deck. He drew another card. He had nothing. He surrendered. Stall decks. Don't play him. Alright guys, welcome back. Dr. Velian Crowler now only means we are facing Ancient Gears, right? And we go first, and we have nothing. We can't do anything. We just have to hope and pray he doesn't kill us. Here we go. Don't kill us, don't kill us, don't kill us, don't kill us, don't kill us. He grabs Ancient Gear Reborn. Swings in, 2,000. We survive. I totally thought we were going to lose this. But guess what? Now we can activate this. If we wanted to, we could activate it twice. I didn't see the need to. I grabbed Sprite's Blessing. Doesn't really matter what we grab. Fantastic. Let's go. We have all of the cards that we need. We grabbed 3 E to 10s. All 3 of our E to 10s. Activate. Ben 10. Activate. Grab up Petite Angel. Grab up Machine Angel Ritual. Petite Angel. Grab Dakini. Activate. Send 2 cards to the graveyard. We are sending our E to 10 from the hand, as well as our Petite Angel. Activate, activate. Send a card. He has Kite Ride. We swing in for the 2600. Dakini, activate. Grab up our E to 10. Then he sets a card and he summons his Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. We don't activate our card in the grave because we don't want E to 10 on the field at the moment, right? We'd much rather have something else. So what we do instead, we send E to 10 back to summon an E to 10. Why did we do that? Well, because we can. Then we grab another Machine Angel Ritual, reason being we wanted to be able to get our E to 10 onto the field. And we wanted the protection for something like Dakini, right? Then he activates his Ancient Gear Reborn. We have to end our turn. We can't swing into that, right? So we grab up our Machine Angel Ritual. I should not have done that. I didn't realize this was the only card that we had left in the graveyard for Dakini to grab. I should not have grabbed it. It's better to keep it in the grave, right? We don't need it. So that was a mistake on my part, but it's okay. He can't really do anything. He summons Gear Town. He summons an Ancient Gear Wyvern. And then he realizes, wait a second, with Ancient Gear Wyvern, I can't activate Kite Roid. Meaning, he swings in and kills himself. He knew he couldn't win that. We had a 3700, and with Ancient Gears, it's very difficult to get over something that is over 3000 or 3000. So there you go. That's why it's so good. And here's the thing. Had we drawn like another E to 10 or a Ben 10 or something like that, we could have used our Machine Angel Ritual to send our E to 10 to the grave to boost up to 4700, which would have been even higher. So had he not summoned the Wyvern, we still could have won pretty easily, right? Even with the Kite Roid, even with playing around the Kite Roid and not swinging in directly, we still could have won. So there you go. It's really good against heavy monster decks, right? Monster-focused decks that don't have a lot of activation, but just focus on beatdown, right? Things like Blue Eyes, things like Ancient Gears, stuff like that, really good against, right? So let's hop back in, and I'll tell you what I think about this deck. So, overall, what do I think of this deck? It's good, and it's really good in lower ranks, like Platinum and below. In Legend, a lot of people play around the Machine Angel Ritual, as well as Dakini and Izana, so keep that in mind. It's difficult. It still works, and you could still climb with it. I think, obviously, it would be a lot better if I had Senju, right? The ritual monster that grabs, sorry, not the ritual monster, but the monster that when it is normal summoned, it grabs up a ritual monster. That would be ideal, right? But alas, I don't. However, you can still play Sonic Bird. You could play any sort of back row, right? Any of these like heavy back row cards, right? Floodgate, Treacherous, Wall of Disruption, Drowning, and you can't play Enemy Controller or Treacherous. Just kidding. Forget I even said that. But you could play, you know, any of these. Power of the Guardians, not so much. Although I could see it working because it'd really be like even more of a counter to something like Treacherous Trap Hole or something like that. But there you go. Canadia works as well. Sadly, I don't have that, but Canadia, pretty good as well. So any of those like back row cards you want to play would also work. And then Senju as well. Let's look at that real quick in in the card catalog. Since I don't have it, I'm still new to this game. This is why I'm trying to come out with things like for newer players as well to make and to learn and enjoy. So Senju. Senju of the Thousand Hands. When this card is normal or flipped summoned, you can add one ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Now, you could also run Sonic Bird, which adds a ritual spell from your deck to your hand. However, it's not nearly as useful. And if we return to the deck list, or the deck, what I would do is I would take out 2 of those, I would keep the 2 Cosmic Cyclones, and I would add in 2 Senjus. And then I would probably take out a Sprite's Blessing for either another Cosmic Cyclone or another like back row card. But honestly, Cosmic Cyclone is probably your best because you don't have a lot of great ways to deal with back row. Again, if you activate Izana's effect, they can activate a back row card in response to that, and then send that very same back row card to the grave. So, keep that in mind. Anyway, there you go. It's a fun deck. It works, especially in lower ranks. You can play it with Sonic Bird. You can play it with Kite Roid. You can play it with all of these new cards, all of these old cards. It's a fun deck. It's really fun. I would highly suggest playing it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did indeed enjoy, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to see more content like this, just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.